Welcome back to the DDD Sports Podcast. As always, joined here with Dante.
What's up?
And DC.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going through the top 8 quarterback prospects. And guys, it's been like a week and a half. Football's been raging on us, huh? Haven't been able to get back in here.
Well, just waiting on the draft.
Exactly. It's hard. There's not a whole lot of topics to talk about. There's like some small stuff like Sam Darnold and small different things like that. But
the draft a little bit.
Oh yeah, and the draft will be a big thing, especially for this podcast, as for the scape of the NFL. Dante, your number 10 prospect.
So, after much consideration, if I was the GM of, let's go with San Fran. It's how I rank the QBs. So, for number 10, I'm going to put my boy Shane Buechele.
Out of SMU?
Yes. I've seen him, and what he did at SMU is 1A.
Oh, 1A. My bad.
I seen what he did at SMU. Well, and he really helped bring SMU back into somewhat like
they competed.
They're competing. They're getting back to competing now, where they can be like a what was that team? UCF.
Yeah.
Where they can be like UCF and then make a run at some New Year's Six bowls now, because SMU is coming on strong in Texas. But yeah, Shane Buechele, and he's a real good passer, really accurate. To me, he's better than Sam Ehlinger, and Shane Buechele transferred from Texas. So
yeah, I know he's been in college football forever. It almost seems like. Yeah, just to clarify, I forgot to introduce at the start of this. We are going to go through our top 10 quarterback prospects from 10 to 1, not based off of how any NFL GM would do it, not based off of anything else, how we would personally rank all the quarterbacks in this draft. There's probably like 15 to 20 prospects.
Yeah.
There's like 15 to 20 prospects that have the potential to be drafted,
especially
or may go undrafted. Exactly, or may go undrafted.
Yeah.
So we're ranking the top 10 on our boards. DC, you're number 10.
My number 10, he got a little bit of hype at the start of last season. Kind of died out because he underperformed. He's undersized. But Ian Book from Notre Dame. Okay, now at 10, let's be honest, the bottom of the list are hopefuls.
That's fair.
We don't know. But, I mean, he's patient in the pocket. He's got accuracy. Not really much of a deep ball, and he's very undersized. He's 6 foot tall.
that does not mean anything. My boy Kyler Murray is proving that, and Russell
But he's
Wilson.
a better athlete than Ian Book is.
And they both have stronger arms than Ian Book.
Yeah, it does play a factor, especially as a prospect, like what you think of them. Yeah, that's just how it works. And Dante, I know I'm gonna misspell all of these names. Don't worry. He keeps correcting me when I write them up on the board. It's just gonna happen.
I'm sorry, that's an English major in me.
For sure. All right, my number 10, I'm going Felipe Franks out of Arkansas.
Oh, I have some boys in Arkansas.
Yeah, Felipe Franks, he was quarterback of Florida, lost his job to Kyle Trask once he went down with an injury, rebounded this year. Senior quarterback, 6'5". He's just an all-around athlete. He just did not get much exposure, and Arkansas competed this year in the SEC.
Yeah, I give him
without
that.
Top prospects.
Even with a new coach, and I say this, who's to say that he doesn't do what Kyle Trask did with the weapons he had at Florida this year? Kadarius Toney, Ian Book, if he still stayed at Florida, if he never get hurt. And if he never got hurt. So I mean, who knows? I do think he could be decent if he's put in the right situation. Well, that's what any of the top prospects.
But this is the difference between him and the other people down on this list, like Ian Book, right? Like we were just talking about, he's a little undersized, can't throw the deep ball well.
You don't have that problem.
Franks has everything in his toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he can go somewhere. Like obviously he's a raw prospect. He'd need a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He'd need a lot of maturing and stuff. And he's projected to get drafted in the 7th round of this draft.
Okay.
But obviously, like it's a chance, but he's got all the physical tools that he could play somewhere. Dante, you're number 9.
My number 9. So I put him number 9 is because of what he did in that bowl game, and I think that's what really hurt him. Kyle Trask.
Wow.
Kyle Trask at 9.
9.
Actually, I read my wrist wrong. I'm sorry, not Kyle Trask. put old boy from Stanford, David Mills.
David Mills still on the list?
David Mills.
I'm trying to figure out who you're leaving off.
I'm not gonna leave. Yeah.
You always tend to leave off some big name.
David Mills. Why is David Mills at 9?
I think he's a sneaky prospect. No one saw Stanford this year because Stanford wasn't that high ranked nationally.
Pac-12, but not good in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and they're in the Pac-12, and no one watches Pac-12 games unless it's the University of Oregon. Let's be real.
That's true.
And so,
And UW.
So he might be a sneaky little prospect. He has he's 6'4". That's good height. See over the line. So I mean, he may be a sneaky prospect.
He's a drop back passer and not anywhere close to Mac Jones as a drop back passer. David Mills is actually not on my list.
He's not on mine either.
But that's interesting because you look at a lot of mock drafts and stuff. David Mills is projected to be in like the 3rd round of a lot of mock drafts. He's an accurate, tall passer in the pocket from Stanford. It's just he fits the description of like your normal quarterback.
He's a prototype quarterback.
He just reminds me of Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of Josh Rosen. I know Josh Rosen, UCLA. It's like just your normal drop back passer where if he's not smart, he's not going to amount to anything.
That's fair.
That's how I think of it. If he sits a year though, maybe learn some things. I don't know. Like he could be good. He's not on my list. But I could see him at 9 though. Obviously, these are all late in the draft prospects that we're trying to rank over each other. DC, who you got at 9?
Another guy you heard some about at the start of the season, but kind of died out. That's what most of the bottom of this list is. Sam Ehlinger from Texas. Now,
Go
ahead.
All right, Mr. Texas.
I'm not a Texas. Even though I'm from Texas, I'm not a big UT fan. But I've seen a lot of University of Texas games. Dude is, he's all right.
So is the rest of the bottom of this list.
His back, that's fair, but he's not better than Shane Buechele. Shane Buechele was at Texas. He's not better than him, David Mills. To be honest, I'd rather have Ian Book than Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger is just he's like the way he plays is like a lesser version of Vince Young.
Longhorn Nation.
All he is going to run. He's not as good of a passer than Vince Young. He's just
all right. He doesn't have the arm. Yeah, that's true. There's not much for arm strength, and he loses accuracy when he gets mobile. He can scramble a little bit, but he's got good field vision, and he can wiggle around the pocket enough to give his receiver some time.
That's fair,
and that's the thing that a lot of these young cats don't have.
The other thing he has that everyone else doesn't have is he has the mental and emotional makeup of an NFL quarterback.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
We're talking about other quarterbacks who need to sit, learn leadership skills, need to learn all this different stuff.
For a minute.
Because he's been through, is Texas back now or they're not back and all that. I'll give you that. He doesn't have mental makeup.
Even if he sits on the sideline his career, his 6-year backup, and then he's out, he's still not a locker room issue.
That's fair.
And can play with maturity.
The only thing I do have an issue with him is his shoulder durability. I think he's had a few shoulder injuries coming out of Texas. So I just have a question about that.
Exactly. Longhorn Nation. We're back. Have to whenever you mention.
They beat Georgia. They beat a unmotivated Georgia team in the Sugar Bowl and thought they were back.
Well, yeah, they also didn't have. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
One of the biggest memes in college football history made right there. All right, my number 9, Brock Purdy, Iowa State.
Think Brock Purdy good like that?
I think Brock Purdy's good. Look,
Iowa State.
Listen though, he's got great velocity. He pushes the ball downfield. And look, even though he's not great size, he's 6'1", 212 pounds, but he's not a one-read quarterback. He's a patient quarterback. So look, obviously he won't be able to make his own plays with his feet. But he's not a one-read quarterback like some of the other quarterbacks on this list already. He's played at a big program. Yeah, it's Iowa State, but they're Big 12.
Yeah,
he's done and he's done some good things. They've played in a lot of big bowl games. It's not crazy to have Brock Purdy up on this list.
No, especially and he's not crazy high. He's down with the list of potential after development. Sit him behind, watch the Steelers pick him in the 5th, 6th round, something like that.
Exactly. That'd literally be a perfect situation for him.
Exactly.
So looking at this list, so Dante's number 9 is David Mills, number 10, Shane Buechele. DC, number 9, Sam Ellinger, number 10, Ian Book. Mine, number 9, Brock Purdy, number 10, Felipe Franks. None of us have repeated quarterbacks yet.
Yes, sir.
And
I think
that'll change real soon, though. There's some clear top. Yeah?
So
who's your number 8, DC?
So he has not had to do some readjustments. He has not played. He didn't play last year.
Nope.
And I think he's gonna be real good. But it's just that he didn't play. He was good at Wake Forest before he transferred to Georgia.
Yep.
Jamie Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Newman is real good. He just didn't play last year. And I don't know how good he is. But
he chose to sit out.
He chose to sit out because of COVID. Yeah, I think it was
COVID, and then he wanted to work for the draft.
He's one of 2 quarterbacks on the list who sat out because of COVID.
Yep.
Who's the other one?
Trey Lance.
No, he didn't. He didn't voluntarily set out. He still played a game. The only reason why they sat out because their conference wasn't trying to play, whatever.
Yeah, but he sat out. He sat out of the spring ball. Anyone was set out of spring ball. He's preparing for the draft. Yeah. But what I'm just saying.
No, they played he played in that one game.
In spring ball?
No, because North Dakota State only played one game.
Oh, in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay, so he played the one game in the fall.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, we didn't see much.
Yeah. You said what did you say?
Oh, he kind of screwed over Georgia.
Yeah, but no, I also think that we'll kind of put him in because I think he was going to start because I didn't know I didn't think they were going to trust. They won't let JT Daniels sit out another year because of that knee. But then once they saw how bad what's that dude's name? Stetson Bennett. Well, Stetson Bennett was all right. They put in JT Daniels. This is when they started to take off. Mm-hmm. I think next year. Well, we get off the top a little bit. We're talking about college football teams, but Georgia is going to be a good team because of JT Daniels.
You look at it, Jamie Newman can do a lot of stuff with his legs too. Like you look at why would a team like the Cowboys not take him in the 6th round?
That's fair.
Or a team you just take them late in the draft. Like obviously, if you're not desperate for quarterback, like the Cowboys just shelled out all that money for Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. You don't draft him till late in the draft.
Yeah.
Right now, you got no backup, and obviously with his injury last year, a backup spot is important.
Thank you. Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't be mad with the Cowboys. They took him in the 4th round. Like anywhere between rounds 4 through 7, I'm not mad.
Exactly. And who got drafted in the 4th round by the Cowboys?
Dak
now
Prescott.
They're franchise guy.
Yep.
Dak Prescott. It's worth taking a risk on some of these guys late in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
When you draft them early and you don't need a quarterback, that's where you run into trouble. That's what happened with like the Eagles this past year.
And to be honest,
in the 1st round, that's what happens. That's when you get QB controversy. But when you draft a late round quarterback who you're just trying to see could potentially be in the NFL or could be a backup if you try and make a deep postseason run, there's nothing wrong with that, and it could actually pay off.
And to be honest, like we'll say he does go to Dallas. I mean, I think Dak Prescott for the most part has been durable in his career. That was just a freak injury that happened to him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, you see what he does in the preseason, then he also can build his value in the preseason or whatever. If he does good in the preseason, it's just trade value for your team right there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or Dak is out 2-3 weeks, something like that. Something happens, and he comes in and plays like a decent starter.
Yeah.
Then trade him for a 2nd round pick next year or something like that.
He may even play himself until if he plays so well, like let's say he goes out for let's say Dak is out 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. He goes out and plays let's say 7 touchdowns and 2 picks over that span.
Right.
You tell me no one's gonna give out a 1st round draft pick for that young of a QB?
And he'd be in the same position as Trubisky in Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't know about 1st round, but that's what I was about to bring up.
If he plays well enough, we'll say he plays better there in that span than let's say
Zach Wilson.
Not Zach Wilson. He's not gonna sit out. Let's say Justin Fields gets drafted to San Fran this year, and Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt for 2 to 3 weeks. If he plays better than in those 2 to 3 week span, he plays better than Justin Fields, someone is going to give up a 1st round draft pick for him,
or at least a second round. Yeah, exactly. And then you more than recoup the value of it. Plus, it's just worth it too. At this point of the draft, you're just trying to get the best talent available. Yes. You're throwing mud at the wall just trying to get a prospect.
Yeah.
It's hard. Not many teams can look at this and be like, we have a for sure sleeper at this time.
That's fair.
Not many teams have that because they're mostly focused on their earlier picks.
Especially if a bunch of the running backs are already off the board.
Yep.
All right, DC, you're 8.
Same. Jamie Newman.
Yeah.
Jamie Newman's 8 across all of our boards.
Told you, I said
We talked about his athleticism, but he doesn't just have that.
he's a good passer.
He's mobile and he's 6'4", 230.
And Jamie Newman's raw. I told you, that's it. I thought so.
He's got the size, he's got the mobility, and there's arm talent. Now, my only question is some accuracy, decision-making, field vision.
Yeah.
He's flashy, yes. He's raw talent. So, yes, he's going to have to
I think that's what any of these QBs.
Most of these back, yes. Sit and develop just right. We don't know.
Yep. All right. So Jamie Newman's number 8 for all of us. We were talking, I just mentioned a little bit ago, we didn't have one that matched up. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. There's the top prospects there's like a top 5 to 6 tier of prospects. We all matched on number 8 with a quarterback who didn't even play this last year.
Yes,
Dante. Who you got at 7?
Okay, now I got eager to say his name. Now I'll put Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask at 7.
Kyle Trask at 7.
Mm-hmm. And I say this because he put up some great numbers at Florida. But what hurt him, and I think in hindsight is 2020, I think he should have sat out just like Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney did. He should have sat out that bowl game against Oklahoma. The Oklahoma game wrecked his draft stock. Because some people were talking about him being a first-round draft pick before that Oklahoma game. After the Oklahoma game where he looked awful, he started to fall. So I say Kyle Trask at 7 is not bad. But then again, he could get to the league. It will say he gets drafted by a team that has good weapons. It's only when their star goes down. He could ball out.
Most likely he will. If he's going to be a later pick, he's going to go to a stud. Nobody who's in desperate need of everything is drafting a quarterback this league.
Yeah.
They'll already have picked one or have something other rearranged.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Kyle Trask, it makes sense to put him here at number 7. Like you look, there's some top prospects in this draft. He's got some of the pieces, but not all of it. He's not exactly a dual threat quarterback. He's not exactly got perfect throwing mechanics. He doesn't exactly have everything.
Mm-hmm.
Could he become that? This is the first quarterback on my list where I could think like if Kyle Trask started somewhere, that would not be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously no one would look to him as a day one starter, but if someone went out, say he goes to the Colts, the Colts draft him late. I know they've already got from UW on their roster. Is it Eason?
Yes, Jacob Eason.
Eason. I know they already got Jacob Eason, who's a young quarterback. So, say Kyle Trask beats him out for a job. Carson Wentz plays bad. Kyle Trask comes in.
Yeah, and then that's
plays
a young
decent
team
for a couple good games. Like I could see him winning a job somewhere.
That actually would be I do think Jacob Eason could be something in this league, but that if he does beat him out, and then Carson Wentz does play bad, why not? We just got to see what Carson Wentz mind space is.
Exactly. Like you said, you were worried that DC thought an old Phillip Rivers is better than Carson Wentz.
Look what old Phillip Rivers did.
Old Phillip Rivers was
He still put out 10 wins?
Let's see. Yeah, no, 12 wins. I think.
Yeah, 12 wins in the Colts. So it seems like a legitimate chance that he may not do that.
Actually, hold on, I take that back. Let me go see. No, I'm sorry. Correction, 11 wins.
But still.
Yeah.
And that's with a mediocre quarterback. So there's room for him to play like that. That's fine.
Yeah, old Phillip Rivers was still completed 68% of his passes, had 4,100 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 11 picks.
If Carson Wentz puts up those numbers next year, we're going to look at him and go, look, he's changed.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's true.
He's getting back to his old self.
Yeah.
2017.
Old Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. All right. Your pick, DC. Number 7.
Number 7, I have Kellen Mond.
Whoa.
Kellen Mond.
I
am high.
I don't understand how you.
Hold on. Okay, so these top 7.
Okay.
We talked about the bottom part being maybe they develop into something great we don't know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here on out, like you're talking about with Trask at 7, these are guys that we could see potentially starting, if not maybe next year, but the year after, something like that, okay? Here's my problem with Kellen Mond, okay? He's not as consistent in accuracy as we would like to see.
I give you because he only completed 63% of his passes.
He's very small.
Okay.
Now he's 6'2", but he's only 205, which means he's not going to take hits in that pocket.
Now this site says he's 6'3", 217. I mean,
okay, so say he's 6'3", 217, which is still he's a little slimmer than we'd like, but not bad. Okay, you put him in the same size category as like a Zach Wilson. He's got arm strength. I do love that, and he can throw that ball
a country mile. Yeah,
mm-hmm. He avoids turnovers, and he's got some ability to move. But it's just you look at the guys up ahead of him who are bigger, played against better. And though I think Kellen Mond's going to get drafted soon.
You can't say they
he played against Bama at LSU.
He played in the SEC. You look at Trey Lance. Everyone's in love with Trey Lance.
Okay, but you say you talk about his size. You can't really say his size is a concern because Trevor Lawrence is 6'6", 220. He weighs about as much as Trevor Lawrence, but he's 6'3".
True. Look, but it's just.
I am high on Kellen Mond. I've said this earlier. You guys know I'm high on Kellen Mond.
Since he talks about Kellen Mond, how high he is, like Dylan Hall. Oh yeah, Kellen Mond. Every time we did a mock draft, Kellen Mond. I hope the Bears take him. I've actually went back and looked at his stats, and Texas A&M doesn't really have that many big name receivers like that.
Yeah,
I look at his stats: 19 touchdowns to 3 picks in the SEC is great.
And it's pretty good. Yes.
Look, he has all the physical tools you need to succeed as a pocket passer. Quick release, above average arm, solid accuracy. Look, I know you guys are talking accuracy. No, I think that's more of the scheming. I think that's more of the scheming. I
do like that he takes care of the football. But look who he picks in that division with all these corners.
With Patrick,
yes, that is huge. Look, I think this guy. So Kellen Mond will get drafted in the second or third round, and Ryan Pace has messed up this entire offseason for the Bears. He can fix it if he drafts this guy.
I think so.
If he drafts this guy, he can fix the entire thing. He might save his job.
And I think
because Andy Dalton will find a way to get hurt, or Nick Foles, whoever they roll out, will find a way to get hurt, and Kellen Mond will play.
Here's a hot take, though.
You know what you guys are doing with Chicago? You guys are trading up with the Falcons because those GMs love each other, taking 4 and picking Justin Fields at 4. That's what the Bears are going to do.
I'd take that too.
That wouldn't be a bad.
I would take that too.
That's what I think's going to happen.
But let's be real.
I like Justin Fields as a prospect as well.
I bet you do.
I do.
Let's be real. I actually have a hot take. Actually,
okay.
Kellen Mond could have a Dak Prescott type of surprise in the NFL.
Yes.
I think he can.
How many quarterbacks are drafted in the 3rd, 4th round that nobody remembers their name right now? That people said could put up those.
I mean, that's fair, but look at Russell Wilson.
You look at a lot of
Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Name another.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Who's currently being replaced.
But that's not his fault, man. That's that. They let the media.
Jimmy Garoppolo came out of Eastern Illinois.
He can't stay healthy.
Okay.
He's mediocre in that system.
The QB.
He's not. Okay. That's okay. I give you that. He's not mediocre.
I just want to acknowledge that Eastern Illinois is just the QB factory because they've got Tony Romo and Jimmy Garoppolo that have come out.
He's not mediocre. He's all right.
Nobody put him in our top list.
Who, Jimmy G?
Yeah, when we did quarterback.
Because
that's true.
That's fair.
But he's mediocre.
Half of the league.
He's mediocre.
He's not. Because mediocre is.
So I could see him.
He's average.
Hold on. I could see him becoming a Jimmy Garoppolo average quarterback.
You're spinning.
I think mediocre. Okay, so where do you rank a mediocre QB? Like if you rank it all 32 starting quarterbacks.
So if we're talking mediocre, you're probably somewhere between 15 and 25.
I was thinking that I say he's
not in our top 16. He might be top 20. And Mond could come in and do that. I'm not saying he can't.
Well,
I'm just saying there's other guys on this list who I like more.
Okay, it's true. All right, moving on from Kellen Mond because we'll definitely be talking about him later.
Yes, we will.
My number 7 is also Kyle Trask, lining up with Dante's list. Look, Kyle Trask is a great prospect. There's just worse prospects here.
He was a Heisman finalist. When was the last time we said a Heisman finalist other than Manti Te'o would slip out like the first round?
Tim Tebow
won in the first round, though.
Talk about Florida quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's wild, but Derrick Henry would be the answer to that. By the way, he went in the second round.
That's fair.
But
But he's a running back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
No, when Kyle Trask, what he did in Florida is crazy. Just
43 touchdowns and 8 picks.
the concern with Kyle Trask was that he had the best supporting cast in college football outside of Mac Jones.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
And then his supporting cast was gone for the bowl game.
And that's what wrecked his draft
And
stock.
he played terribly.
Bowl game. That was one game.
I know.
Like, are we?
But you played against an Oklahoma team that's defense
So
is
we
mediocre.
trashing Fields and saying Fields should drop because he tanked.
You can't say that about Fields. He was hurt.
Fields has been playing in great bowl games before that.
And
Fields has played in what, 4 bowl games?
And he's played in
because you count the college football playoff. That's 2 bowl games each.
No, he's played in one. He's played in one because he lost to the semifinal of Clemson.
Yeah,
He played good against Clemson. So he won, and then 2 his last year.
So he's played 3. 3, yeah, exactly. But those bowl games matter.
But with him though, Justin Fields was hurt, and you playing against Alabama. That's one of the best defenses in the country. Oklahoma is not one of the best defenses in the country like that.
All right,
We'll talk about him in a sec. We're chilling.
we will talk about.
You have him higher
in
on
a
your
sec.
list, don't you?
A little bit.
A little bit higher. All right, Dante, who you got at number 6?
Mac Jones, baby.
Mac
Another
Jones.
SEC quarterback.
Mac Jones. Kellen. Notice Kellen Mond is still not picked here. He's got Kellen
I
Mond
think
over
he'd be
Mac
higher on
Jones.
both your guys' boards.
Oh, Mac Jones. All right, tell me about Mac Jones. Why is he number 6?
I
Because
just
people are talking about him going number 3 overall to San Francisco.
I think that'll be a huge mistake. I do think he could be decent in this league. Let's say like middle of the pack to mediocre.
My problem with Mac Jones is, as a matter of fact, Mac Jones is my 6 too. My problem with Mac Jones is he's not the best pocket passer in this current draft, in my opinion. Kyle Trask has better size than him. If we're talking about quarterbacks with no mobility, we just said Kellen Mond had a better arm.
You got Kyle Trask over Mac Jones. That's true. All right, I look at it. I look at your guys' list. I'm trying to see because you guys got Mac Jones low. It's all of us have at least one prospect from lower in the draft ahead of some of these top prospects.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at what's going on with Mac Jones. Mac Jones had a great last year, but he's got no physical tools.
He didn't start with. He couldn't get over Tua.
Yeah, that's not Tua led him to championship though.
But still though, they were still both freshmen at a point. Am I wrong?
That's true.
Yeah, and the whole hype thing came out. His wide receivers liked him more than Tua. That's great. But why didn't the greatest college coach of all time like him more than Tua?
Yeah,
because Tua's a
why
better
did it take
prospect.
him?
Because Tua was better.
And we talk about weapons, right? Everyone's dog on Kyle Trask's weapons. Mac Jones has like 4 receivers that are going to go in the top 2 rounds of the next
Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, maybe a first rounder.
Might be a first rounder.
Should be a first.
He may have some more first rounders coming up in the next few
And I
drafts.
think he'll be the best running back of this draft class too. But you look at, I think
that's
that's
pretty good, but it could go either way.
Yeah,
I give you
exactly.
that.
But no, you look at this though. Mac Jones had literally we have Kyle Trask down here at 7, like I do. It's the same with Dante down at 7. He had the second best supporting cast in football. Mac Jones had the best.
Yeah.
Bama won, and they could have had any of their quarterbacks from the last 3 years, and they would have won. They could have had Hurts back there, they would have won. They could have had Tua back there, they would have won. They were just that deep.
Yeah. Because to be honest, they steamrolled almost everybody they played against. The only person they really didn't steamroll like that was Florida. There's the only team that didn't steamroll like that on their way to a national title.
Well, that sounds
Exactly.
Okay, who's the quarterback in Florida?
Kyle Trask, baby.
Yeah. I don't know.
We talk about one game changing everything.
And if that would have been his last game of his career, people were like, "Oh yeah, Kyle Trask played good." If he didn't play that game, if he didn't play that bowl game, he's a first rounder.
We talk about one game. How many studs in the NFL have had bad 1 games?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we going to judge Patrick Mahomes off 200 yards and 2 picks in a Super Bowl?
We saw what he was dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. So Kyle Trask lost all his weapons going.
And that's the difference between a bowl game and a Super Bowl. That's a big difference.
Well, my thing is we can't do off 1 game. That's
I'll give you that.
I'll explain my Kyle Trask here in a sec.
So can we all agree then that if San Francisco picks Mac Jones at 3, would that be a good pick or a bad pick?
Bad pick.
He's a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback.
Yeah.
See, so I think that's a bad pick too, but I get why they do it. I see the similarities with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's worked with Matt Ryan. If he sees Matt Ryan like tendencies in Mac Jones that we don't see, and this comes from Kyle Shanahan being the football guru, who's had RG3 and made him Rookie of the Year. Matt Ryan made him an NFL MVP. Like I don't know. He might see something we don't.
Copied all over the league because clearly.
Yeah.
He's talking
So maybe he sees something that we don't, but I just don't see it. All right.
But
fun fact about Mac Jones. My dad thinks he's the next Tom Brady.
Wow.
Yep. Pocket passer, absolute stud. That's what my dad thinks about Mac Jones.
So if he's bad, DC, we are calling your dad and putting him on here.
I don't get it. We gotta put him on if Mac Jones.
Exactly. I mean, he makes that bold of a take. He's got to come on after it.
He's gotta have to.
The next Tom Brady,
Thomas Brady.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna say he's gonna say Mac Jones is gonna be the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL.
Well, I don't know. He is, and if we're talking about him getting picked at 3, he's gonna walk in a system that sent Jimmy G to the Super Bowl.
That's fair.
So if he steps up and plays like not quite Aaron Rodgers, not quite Peyton Manning, like Tom Brady did for years.
I don't know. That's a strong take.
Becomes the next. I mean, that's a cool story, but like we said, he's not the best pocket passer on this board. He had 1 year, couldn't beat out Tua in that 1 year,
And
Jalen Hurts couldn't beat out either of them. So he only had 1 year to play.
And you guys got to remember, he was having a competition with Bryce Young.
He was having a competition with Bryce Young.
So I don't like that.
I think he's one of the best pocket passers.
I'm amazed Dante put him down here. Y'all thought I was crazy when I said I didn't like Mac Jones.
You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. Who's going number 6 for me?
Whoa.
Number 6.
It's not okay. As long as it's not Justin Fields, I'll be all right.
You put Zach Wilson, huh?
No. Trey Lance.
Oh, I knew you didn't like.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like he doesn't like Trey Lance at all.
I didn't think you put Trey
He doesn't
Lance.
like Trey Lance.
I don't like Trey Lance.
Why not? Like, what's your big? Hey, we have to clear the air. What is your big thing about Trey Lance?
Look,
because he played at North Dakota State.
That's part of it. Part of it's he's played at North Dakota State.
So let's say this, okay? Do you think North Dakota State has a chance to beat BYU if they play?
No.
Really? You're kidding.
I think BYU wipes the floor.
Stop!
The team last year.
Stop!
BYU versus North Dakota State.
Bro, some of those top teams in Division I FCS that compete, like them, James Madison, some of them can probably stay up there with BYU. Probably, maybe.
BYU was a top 15 team.
BYU.
Well, because of who?
They were a top 15
this year
team.
Because of Zach Wilson.
It's not just because of one guy. It's not just because of one guy.
Though, man.
Look, I was talking about last year. Literally just with Zach Wilson.
I'm talking about the year before. I'm not talking about this past fall. I'm talking about the year before.
Well, that means different things. I don't know what BYU was like
Zach
at that
Wilson
point.
was nobody.
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so was Mac Jones.
I don't know who BYU was at that point. Look, why I have Trey Lance down this low. No one can deny how high this prospect ceiling is.
Yeah,
nobody can.
Talent.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at his floor.
What do you think his floor is, man?
This guy's not played in a year. Yes, he's done great in college. He's done great in a pro-ready system at North Dakota State against no competition.
Stop. I mean,
this guy's proved nothing yet. He's raw. He's a raw prospect, but he's proved nothing.
I think he won a national title at North Dakota State, man.
This guy could be Cardell Jones.
Hey, save your defense.
He's done nothing.
Wait, what do you mean? Cardell Jones? Okay, that's fair.
This guy could be Cardell Jones. All he did was walk in. He won Ohio State, the first ever college football playoff. Everyone thought he was great. Proved nothing as a prospect. Came in. Nowhere. He's playing on the DC Defenders in the XFL.
But no one was projecting him to be a first rounder, though.
But what I'm saying is this is the same problem, though. But here's the thing. Trey Lance is way quicker than Cardell Jones was. All I want to say is that is his absolute floor.
If you say so.
That is his absolute floor. I'm not guessing him to be like Cardell Jones. You know? Yeah. But I don't think he'll end up a franchise quarterback in this league. He might be for a couple years. But he will not be a franchise quarterback.
Okay, how long will his franchise quarterback window last then? You don't think he's going to be –
His rookie contract.
Really?
Yes.
Then he's not a franchise quarterback then.
He's not going to prove anything. That's what I think.
I say at least
I am not a Trey Lance fan.
All right.
I'm not a Trey Lance fan.
If he doesn't get past it, that's not a franchise QB then. That's just a bust. Correct?
Well, you said it, not me.
So you bring this dude to be a bust?
I think most likely he'll be a bust.
To the Niners.
I mean, anyone can be a bust, but
I'm going to walk into the Niners.
To the most QB-friendly system in this league.
Listen, Listen, if he goes to the Niners at 3, that significantly increases his chances. Significantly.
Okay.
He sits behind Kyle Shanahan for a year. If he goes to the 49ers at 3, I don't think he'll be a bust.
Okay. So let's say he goes to Atlanta. You think he's a bust?
No.
Go to Atlanta's trade.
With Arthur Smith and behind Matt Ryan, no, I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be good. But look, this also means though
Denver. You think he goes to Denver with KJ Hamler?
Bust.
Whoa, man, come on.
If he goes to Denver, that's a bust.
Quarterback away.
I agree with
and he's not their quarterback.
He needs some time.
And look, and if you look at this,
I do agree.
There's
I
only
do
3
agree.
guys on this list
fair.
I think should start next year.
So look,
Okay.
Exactly. So
That's
look,
fair. I do agree. He does need time. I'm sorry.
Yes, he does need time. And look, I have Trey Lance at 6. I'm talking about he could be a good quarterback. So that means everyone else above here, I think, is just a better prospect.
Okay. That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. So look, I'm not trying to call him a bust. In the right system, he can be great.
Oh, yeah.
I just think he hasn't proved anything yet.
Okay.
So I can't put him over Mac Jones.
Right system, Trubisky could have been great.
That's true.
We don't know.
That's
and
true.
actually, we do know for a year.
That's actually a great comparison.
The year they played the Philadelphia Eagles, when he ran the ball more and they were actually rolling him out on the run and having
That's why, they never should have benched him this year and put Nick Foles in.
Thank you.
Because at least if you have a bad O-line, the only thing ask the Seahawks have been doing it for years.
Having someone run around,
is have a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
And Trubisky can make plays on this.
Yep.
Trey Lance can too. So
Yep.
I've seen the comparison there.
So what I'm saying is this can go a ton of different
That's
ways.
fair.
And it all depends on what system he lands in. But I can't put him over Mac Jones, who's won a national title.
That's fair.
That's where I've got it. So I'm just gonna reiterate our bottom half because it's been a little bit, and then we're gonna go into our top 5. Dante's got number 6, Mac Jones, number 7, Kyle Trask, number 8, Jamie Newman, number 9, David Mills, number 10, Shane Buechele. DC's got number 6, Mac Jones, number 7, Kellen Mond, number 8, Jamie Newman, number 9, Sam Ehlinger, number 10, Ian Book out of Notre Dame. And then I've got Trey Lance at 6, Kyle Trask at 7, Jamie Newman at 8, Brock Purdy at 9, and Felipe Franks at 10.
Arkansas.
Out of Arkansas.
Woo
pig.
Arkansas.
Dante, you're 5th.
Yes.
I know who you're going to say. Kellen Mond at number 5.
Yep. I think dude will be legit, man. He has a very strong arm. I saw it was a Kellen Mond. I think it was maybe on TikTok. It was a highlight of him. It was he threw a touchdown pass, and it was a deep ball. It was in between the receivers in between 2 defenders, and he caught and he threw it on a dime. It was a dime. It was a touchdown, whatever. And going back and looking at his stats, because I remember D Hall was like, "Oh yeah, I love Kellen Mond. The Bears should take Kellen Mond. We talking about them taking him in the first round
next year with Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond this, Kellen Mond that." So he kept saying Kellen Mond. So one day I just looked up his stats. 19 touchdowns and 3 picks in the SEC is great.
With no receivers.
With receivers that probably won't go in the first round or second round next year.
Yeah, they don't have any receivers that's supposed to go in this draft.
No. So
it's impressive, but
19-3 in the SEC, man.
He's competing with these guys. Mac Jones, we said best supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Trask, second best supporting cast.
And to be honest, they really should have been in the college football playoff. The only loss was to Bama.
Yeah.
That's the only loss. That was the only loss this year. So
I thought they should have been in, and I would have loved to see him in.
To be honest,
I just thought of something completely irrelevant to Kellen Mond. We're talking about a prospect we saw earlier. You know who my Jamie Newman potential comparison is?
Who?
Cam Newton. Size, mobility, cannon.
No.
I'm a kid. That's my favorite QB. That is a bold.
Hey, we talk about Cam has all the size and strength, and he's mobile.
This is so you're comparing him to a MVP QB
potential.
Look
at his ceiling.
Okay.
All right. So look, how about we do this for our top 5? Everyone's got to rank what they think an NFL comparison for their top 5.
That's fair.
Okay.
Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond. Who do you think?
Let me see something. He's what I say 6'3", 217.
I'll look that up while you're going over it.
Yeah,
Kellen Mond,
6'3",
yeah, 6'3",
217.
217, yeah. What do you think?
We're from Dallas.
Dak Prescott?
Dakota.
Rain Dakota Prescott. That's his comparison, man.
Dakota Prescott.
Yep.
Like Dak Prescott, NFL comparison for Kellen Mond. Both out of, I mean, I see it.
It's not. Hey, let's be real. The same skill set.
Yep.
Dak is just a bigger. It's just a more bigger dude than him. Dak is like 6'2", 230.
Mm-hmm.
He may be like a faster, a skinny, like a little skinnier and smaller, skinnier and faster version of Dak. But Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott didn't have that many weapons. He elevated the play of Mississippi State, just like Kellen Mond did with Texas A&M. He helped Jimbo Fisher build Texas A&M back up. I mean, it kind of wasn't in a bad spot, but they weren't trying to jump over that next hurdle, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Wait, so we just doing that for all on this?
Yeah, so when we go, our top five. Our top five.
That's a good call.
DC, you got a 5.
5, I have Cal Trask.
Cal
You guys
Trask.
had him a little higher. All right. So before y'all start flipping out,
I think I might know who your NFL comparison is going to be, but really,
I don't think you do. This one's interesting, but okay. So Cal Trask, pocket quarterback, right? No mobility whatsoever. Okay, that's fine because he's shown he can throw while taking hits and under pressure. Now, he's not very good at maneuvering said pocket because he's not very good at seeing the rush while he's looking downfield.
That's true. I mean,
but that's not a big issue because that means he's keeping his eyes downfield under pressure.
That's fair.
You can work with that, okay? He's got great decision making.
Yeah.
He's got phenomenal size. He's 6'5", 240.
That's huge. That is huge.
He's built to take hits. And sitting in the pocket, you want a dude who's built to take hits. Mac Jones at like 214, yeah, okay, he's not mobile, but he's not built to take hits.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's going to fold that dude. Khalil Mack's going to fold that dude.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Kyle Trask. And my NFL comparison for Kyle Trask, where I think he's going to be, Joe Flacco.
That's a good one.
Okay, which Joe Flacco are we getting? Talking about playoff Joe Flacco?
We're talking about Joe Flacco's career.
You can just talk about Joe Flacco in general.
He's not going to be the guy who leads you to the Super Bowl. But put him on the right team.
He can do something. He can make something shake in the playoffs.
Great run game.
Okay.
I mean, Flacco was like 6'6". He's a big dude.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
Yeah, pocket passer. Okay, great run game and a great defense. Mm-hmm. And they went to a Super Bowl and beat the Niners.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was like a 3-year period where Joe Flacco was playing out of his mind in the playoffs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. My number 5, Mac Jones.
Okay.
Mac Jones, we've already talked a lot about him. Pocket passer, purely pocket passer. But very accurate, very smart, pretty good deep ball. Makes the most out of the pieces he has around him. He had great pieces around him. He had the number 1 obviously supporting cast around him.
That's fair.
Mac Jones did a lot of great stuff. My NFL comparison to him, it's got to be what Kyle Shanahan sees if he takes him at 3. It's got to be Matt Ryan.
I don't think he sees a Matt Ryan in him. I think he sees Kirk Cousins in him, man.
You see the guy you've already played and the guy you've already made an MVP.
But Matt Ryan, no, he does not. He reminds me more of Kirk Cousins than Matt Ryan to me. That's just me.
Yeah,
but I can see maybe because he just was from Atlanta, he just was coaching in Atlanta. But I see more of a Kirk Cousins in him.
It could be. Yep. Either one. Yeah, it's both of them. It's just like get the ball into your hand of your playmakers. You know? Like even when Matt Ryan had the best thing, it's hard to compare someone to lead who's got some of the best NFL passing numbers. Yeah. When we make these comparisons, we're not going to say they have a career like him. We're just saying the type of player they're like. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because, like, I'm not trying to say Mac Jones is going to go out and put up these huge air raid numbers with the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. That's not going to happen, or it could, but that's not what I'm banking on happening. It's just the type of player he is. All right, number 4, Dante.
TreyLance.
Trey Lance.
I'm the same.
Trey Lance for Dante and DC. So what was so crazy with me putting him at 6?
6 is like
you just said Mac Jones was better than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Mac Jones has one more ring than him. And he didn't even play. He played in the FCS. He didn't even play last year. That's not too crazy. All right, anyway, keep going.
Fair.
Sorry, I derailed your comments about Trey Lance.
But Trey Lance he's good, man. Like, he's 28 touchdowns and 0 picks for a national title team. I think they were a national title team at North Dakota State. And how many rushing touchdowns did he have? He only had 2. Well, no, I'm sorry. So 2019, he had 28 touchdowns and 14 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good. That's great. So I mean, like you say this about Mac Jones, but you can make a case that he probably carried some of the North Dakota State's offense. I think it was in 2019. So I mean, So okay, for my NFL comparison, you said you do want to talk about Cam.
That's your Cam. He didn't
No,
have size for Cam.
I don't think he has. I'm sorry, not Cam. Who used to be the QB for the 49ers?
You gonna really? Old Kaepernick?
Not the Kaepernick before he.
Yeah. Kaepernick fresh out of the draft.
Kaepernick replacing Alex Smith. That's who he reminds me of. Because they're built the same, and I think they still have some of that same athleticism. They both have a strong arm, so that's who he reminds me of, Colin Kaepernick.
Yep, I think that makes sense. He reminds Colin Kaepernick that's a pretty good comparison for him.
Cap,
same type of game.
Yeah.
All right, moving on next. DC, you also put Trey Lance at 4. What do you think your comparison for him is?
All right, well, I'll talk about him for a second. Okay, insane arm strength. Okay, deep running receivers, and he can lead them without a problem. But now, yes, and he's mobile. We talked about that. Okay, but
who are you gonna say, man?
He has a problem throwing into tight windows. A little bit of an experience issue. We talked about this, okay? And he's a raw talent. Now, I like him more than I like Jamie Newman, but he's a raw
That's
talent.
Fair.
Okay?
Who are you going to say his comparison is, though?
Okay. You know who my comparison is? And no, this is I don't know if he's going to be this good. I doubt he'll be this good, honestly. My comparison is Josh Allen. Mobile with the cannon. It's not off.
His cannon's not as big as Josh Allen's, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not saying he has
however,
some of the same problems that we were saying about Josh Allen coming out of the draft.
That's true.
Some of the same problems he had.
That's true.
And Josh Allen he looked all right his rookie year.
His first couple of years, he had accuracy.
He made it to the playoffs the second year. I do give him that. Mm-hmm. But his first year, he looked all right. We didn't know if he was going to be a bust or like a good player.
Small kid on the tail end of your top prospects in the draft, mobile, and has a cannon. Now, you can work on everything else, especially if he goes to the Niners, you can work on everything.
Yeah, because you have a year with Jimmy, at least another year with Jimmy Garoppolo, a year or two, depending if Jimmy G takes that team to like a Super Bowl or even an NFC Championship, who's to say he's not back for a second year?
Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about floor, I could see Trubisky with a better arm.
Okay.
That would be my floor.
That's your floor for
that's a great comparison.
My floor is Cardell Jones, but I think it's very likely
that's horrible.
I said it's very likely he could turn out like Trubisky, though. That's the absolute floor. That's like everything goes wrong.
I think
Trubisky with a cannon is what I think he ends up with, so it'll depend on where he goes, whether or not he should find.
I think his floor is Terrell Pryor with
That's a good floor too.
His floor would be Terrell Pryor. Mm-hmm. Where somewhere that's he didn't work out at QB, but he could possibly go play somewhere else because of how his size and speed.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, you guys know who my number 4 is. At this point,
Mond.
I got Kellen Mond at number 4.
I get it. I do.
Look, Kellen Mond, he's obviously going to need the right system.
Yes.
But this guy,
so all the rest of
it. He is by far the most overlooked player in this entire
That's fair.
He is sneaky athletic. He does everything he needs to do. People dog on his size, but he's 6'3", 217 pounds.
That's not small. That's a good size.
That's not small. They just call him small.
And in the COVID year, he got overshadowed by all these big names.
And I wish he was in the college football playoff, man.
If he was in the college football playoffs,
even
though they would probably compete with Bama at least in the first half.
Either Bama or Clemson is who they would have drawn.
No, I think they would have got that 4th seed draw.
They would have got that 4th seed draw.
They was by 14 to one of them and show that he can compete at that level.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's up there. I mean,
and look, Kellen Mond, for me, he's like a prospect that came out a couple years ago, I think. Look, this prospect made the college football playoff. Kellen Mond should have. If he gets put in the right system, he'll do great. If he doesn't, he'll bounce around a little bit, maybe find another team, maybe not. He's like Marcus Mariota.
I thought you were going to say that. I wasn't
That's
really
a good
sure.
one.
He's like Marcus Mariota.
I don't think so.
You look
Marcus
at him.
Mariota's a better runner, man.
Oh,
I disagree.
he had 500 rushing yards.
Who?
Kellen Mond.
I think Mariota had
in 2019.
Let's look at Marcus Mariota's stats.
Look, and this is 2019 too.
Yeah, but
this is
more
before the
impressive
season.
to watch Kellen Mond do that because of who he plays.
And look, and Kellen Mond, he racks it up out of smart play.
Pac-12 has
The pocket collapses. His wide receivers can't get open for him, so he scrambles and gets that.
How many yards you said Kellen Mond had?
He had 500.
And how many
in 2019.
games?
I don't know how many games.
I think it was 13 games, probably
something like that.
Yeah. What's probably his last year in Oregon? He had 770 yards of rushing.
Okay,
so it's in a Pac-12 that doesn't play any defense.
But what I'm saying,
that's the Pac-12 has some decent.
So look, Marcus Mariota's Mariota's a better runner. What we're saying though is Kellen Mond could be that guy.
That's fair.
And can we all agree? Even Mariota, who played one game for the Raiders last year, could probably start.
I think he just start for most of these. At least the bottom half of the league.
He would start in like Washington.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah, he could start for a lot of these teams. The Raiders have him because they see him as a value as a backup, and Marcus Mariota knows it.
Answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think
Derek Carr is.
I think they're trying to sabotage Derek Carr, but that's another topic for another day.
My problem with that is Mariota got asked to take a pay cut, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he took it.
Yep.
But look, I think Kellen Mond could be that same type of player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be Marcus Mariota, and I think if you put him in the right system, or if you form the right system around him, he could be a great quarterback. So that's why I'm all in on Kellen Mond. I think he's so underrated, and everyone looks over him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the Bears get him.
That's fair.
I hope they do. I really if we don't trade up and get Justin Fields at 4, and if Justin Fields go number 3, I would be upset. You know, if you trade up to 4 and San Francisco takes, that would be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare.
Break the TV.
I would be upset. I would be upset, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. I was happy when they got Trubisky at 2.
Okay.
I was happy when they got Trubisky at 2. All right, now we're in the top 3.
I think our top 3s are all the same.
But they're all going to be different orders.
They'll be different orders. Okay, so number 3, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, number 3 for Dante. How come?
Zach Wilson is I honestly, it's because of where he played at BYU. Mm-hmm. He played like in a Power 5 team or even like a better Group of 5 team. I think if you put at UCF, I may mess around and rank him above Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. I'm not going to tell you who's my number 1, but yeah, Zach Wilson. He's great off platform. His arm is good. Is good. Is an NFL ready arm. It's not like super strong, but it's strong enough for the league. And so, but his accuracy is real good. His throwing accuracy on the run is the best in this draft. So y'all ready for my NFL comparison?
What is it?
So I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. I'm not gonna. No, he's not. That's not my NFL comparison. But you know who else?
You made the Jets fan stand up and leave.
The
one who hopes he's Patrick
who
Mahomes.
else is good at off-platform throws?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
Rodgers.
Mr. Rodgers.
I have him
Mr.
compared to Aaron Rodgers too.
Discount double check, man. Discount double check. Aaron Rodgers. That's his NFL comparison, man. Just because of the way what he does when he's rolling out the pocket. That's my NFL comparison to him is Aaron Rodgers.
It's the NFL comparison.
Because I don't think he has that cross-body action like Mahomes does. I've seen him do it, but Mahomes, he has to show me in the league. But he has that on-the-run ability like Aaron Rodgers does.
He does.
Where he gets out the pocket, or he's running around and throwing on the run. It just seems like he's always on the money, like with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What do you think, DC?
Well, I have Zach Wilson at 3.
Okay.
You have Zach Wilson at 3 too?
Yep.
What about you, D-Hall?
We'll get to mine later.
D-Hall doesn't have him.
Let me get my Jets sense into this one. I just came on and I said he was like a 3rd-round quarterback, right? I think a lot of these guys are going to get drafted way higher than they should.
Okay.
Like we just talked about, all the way up to like 4, we're talking prospect need development.
That's
right?
fair.
Why were you drafting a prospect need development in the 1st round?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Unless you got a spot to have him sit. Like if you're San Francisco,
Yeah,
then
Jimmy
you should have
G.
drafted him at 12.
But you
Anyway,
shouldn't have traded up if you're going to do that.
Exactly.
If the Steelers did it right now with their pick, I get it.
That's
If the
fair.
Patriots do it, I get it.
That's
But-
fair.
Okay, so Zach Wilson, okay? Great eyes. I think he has good timing, okay? He's got a deep ball. And you talked about, being able to move a little bit. Here's my problem, okay? So in the NFL, the only reason that they're going to want you to roll out of the pocket is if you're being chased by a pass.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, he sat behind a line that kept him well protected. And he could not. His accuracy and his decision-making suffers the second the pass rushes in his face. So here's my question, okay? Sam Darnold last year had like 2.7 seconds to throw the football. Is Zach Wilson going to come in and play like a stud in 2.7 seconds before he has to run somewhere?
No.
So you know who my NFL comparison for Zach Wilson is? Sam Darnold.
So you basically traded a guy away
Except
just to get.
Except I think Sam Darnold's better than Zach Wilson.
I think Sam Darnold's good.
He has the size, and we talk about mobility on the run. You watch what he did against the Niners.
You talking about that little sidearm
for
the touchdown?
Yeah. And he's running from 3 pass rushers because he has no O-line. Incompetent coach, terrible team. I mean, I honestly think other than 2 games, if we didn't win those 2 games, we would be sitting as the worst team in NFL history, not the 08 Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's my comparison. I think at his peak, he could be Aaron Rodgers, but that's because I think Sam Darnold's could be Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, there's my Jets 2 cents.
Watch you put Justin Fields at 3.
Number 3, I got Justin Fields.
Oh, my. I knew you were higher on Zach Wilson.
Look. 2 and 3 are really close to me.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I think these top 3 should start.
I think they're all close.
I think they're literally they should be interchangeable.
They are.
Unless someone
They're
is not in love with Trevor Lawrence.
They're close.
Could you imagine Zach Wilson at 1 on draft night?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson to Jacksonville. Why?
Jacksonville may have to disband if they don't get Trevor Lawrence.
Fired.
Well, if it doesn't work out and Trevor Lawrence becomes a stud and Zach Wilson is a bust, then yeah.
They disband. They change their name.
Yeah.
They would change their name. Look, Justin Fields, he's awesome. I think my top 4 quarterbacks could all be franchise quarterbacks. Well, my top 6 could be. My prediction is top 3 at least, and maybe top 4. But Justin Fields, look, all the tools. Got a lot of stuff going for him. You look at him compared to all these other quarterbacks on the board. He's got the physical size. He's more accurate. He's more consistent than a guy like Trey Lance. He's proven. He's done all these different things. It's hard to put him in a box because Justin Fields, he could be his own type of guy. I'm struggling to figure out who to place him as. I'm thinking a more mobile Matthew Stafford. Doesn't exist. I know that doesn't exist. But
It is hard to make
Justin
a
Fields.
comparison on
Justin
Fields.
Fields has that same type of arm length, same type of arm, same type of throwing motion, quick release, smart. Will play with who's around him and make everyone else around him a little bit better. And he's a little bit more mobile. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Matthew Stafford. I'm just saying he's a little bit more mobile than Matthew Stafford is. You look at him at the combines and stuff. That's just, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to make a comparison. I just think he's a little bit more mobile than Matthew Stafford. All right. So now moving on to number 2, Dante.
Trevor Lawrence, baby. Number 2.
Trevor Lawrence at 2?
Trevor Lawrence at 2.
We knew it. That's the whole reason we did
Trevor
this
Lawrence at
list.
2?
I think Trevor Lawrence will be a generational talent. Yes. I also think number 1 will be a generational talent. But Trevor Lawrence, good height, good arm. It's just that I'm not as sold as Trevor Lawrence as everyone else is. He's had T. Higgins, Justin Ross, Travis Etienne. So he's had a great supporting cast. And also, but he also, the other thing with him, people don't realize. They talk about Justin Fields looking at his number one option. He looks at half field reads. He doesn't go through the whole field. There's been multiple times Justin Fields has actually gone through read 1, read 2, read 3 across the field. So, but that's kind of nitpicky because you can teach that. You can teach looking at your multiple reads. But I do think he has a great arm, great accuracy. I don't think his like when the play breaks down, him throwing on a run is as good as Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. But really, if he can make his money as a pocket passer, he's still gonna be like a top five QB in the NFL one day. It's just that that's where I see him at. So my NFL comparison to Trevor Lawrence.
Who is it?
To be honest, if you really want to know, I think it's Drew Brees.
Drew Brees?
What taller?
Drew Brees, but taller, in a little bit strong, in a more stronger arm. Yeah, Drew Brees.
I know who mine is.
Super accurate, and Drew Brees can move a little bit. He's not as immobile as he can move a little bit, like outside the pocket when he needs to. But Drew Brees, he's a great pocket passer. He has great accuracy. Yeah. So
DC, you're number 2.
Justin Fields.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence is so we talked about, well, I don't know if we talked about it yet, but as far as these quarterbacks go, for the last 3 years, this draft class has been Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Conversation all the way through college. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
They were the number 2 ranked. They were number 1, number 2 in their recruiting class.
Exactly. Trevor Lawrence won the starting job a lot earlier than Fields did.
Well, that's because I think Fields would have started anywhere else. He went to Georgia, and what's his name led him to a national title? Jake Fromm. So yeah,
that's true. But then he came over to Ohio State
and started.
Haskins.
No,
Haskins was while he was at Georgia.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, but yeah, so he's bounced around, played good, not great. Trevor Lawrence walked in.
He didn't.
Great.
Oh, you mean you can't play great? You can't play just good and be a Heisman finalist.
He played great the last year.
Last year, but the year before last, he
played
better. Great. Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence did that walking into Clemson, and he did it for 3 consistent years.
That's fair. I mean, yeah.
So
but this year,
hold on.
But look who Justin Fields plays, man. Compared to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, he plays in the ACC. There's not a lot of teams that are going to challenge Clemson in the ACC. Really, there's more teams in the Big Ten that can challenge Ohio State.
Here's another problem I have with Justin Fields.
Okay.
If he was this insane, now I think he's great. If he was better than Trevor Lawrence, then why wasn't Zach Wilson bumped towards the Trevor Lawrence thing? We spent the entire NFL season going, who's going to play the worst and get that pick? Week 1 through week 17, we talked about Jets Jacksonville. Who's getting Trevor Lawrence? And we said anything about it
because the media has a love affair with Trevor Lawrence. They push that narrative. It's not his fault. I mean, they're in love with Trevor Lawrence. That's why. Yeah, that's why. Oh, who's gonna get the number 1 pick to select Trevor Lawrence? It's the media's fault that happened.
So is every NFL scout. That's the entire reason Urban Meyer's coaching in Jacksonville.
So you mean to tell me that the NFL scouts are influenced by the media by a tad bit, not a smidget? I think a lot of them are, man.
But they're also doing their research themselves.
Yeah,
and Justin Fields has been dropped down into the Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones conversation.
That's fair.
And he's no longer in the island by himself.
But I think that's because of where he's coming from, man. Like you can't. I hate the argument that not a lot of great QBs come from Ohio State, but like you can say the same thing about any other school, like Deshaun Watson. What great QB came out of Clemson before Deshaun Watson? There was none. Like Auburn, what great QB came out before Cam at Auburn? There was none. You can't really make that argument. I don't
think that's a legitimate argument. My problem with Justin Fields would be pocket awareness, and he gets shaken up every time there's pass rush or blitz.
Who do you think, man? Who do you think is NFL comparison?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, well, he's athletic. He's accurate. He could throw quick passes in the tight windows, and he could throw on the run. Justin Fields, okay, so I said my Zach Wilson was like Sam Darnold, could potentially end up being like an Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields is my Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And you'll see why he's number 2 based on my comparison for that number 1.
We've had 2 different quarterbacks we compared to Aaron Rodgers. We've had Zach Wilson and Justin Fields.
And that's why they're put in the same category. Everyone talks about – now I think Fields is more athletic and has the same arm. That's the reason I like Fields more than Wilson. Mm-hmm. You get more of an athlete out of Fields.
Yeah.
So.
All right. My pick at number 2 is Zach Wilson. I got Zach Wilson at 2.
BYU's own.
And my NFL comparison, you guys would be like, why is this guy number 2 off my NFL comparison? But it's because of how he plays. Everyone looks at Zach Wilson and they're like, all right, his rolls out of the pocket. He makes all these crazy throws. That's his own style. That's not like anyone else in the NFL. And you can say, oh, like he doesn't contort his body like Patrick Mahomes. But he makes plays out of the pocket like Aaron Rodgers. That's something you can't teach. And that's something that we'll see if that translates to NFL.
Right.
That's different in college. The only thing that will definitely translate is he runs a lot of play action.
Oh.
A lot of play action at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have an NFL system that runs a lot of play action. And that's why the Jets are getting better running backs this offseason. That's part of why. Look, Zach Wilson, I think he's going to play a lot like Baker Mayfield.
The Baker?
The Baker. Play action, rolls out. Baker makes some plays out of the pocket too. Look, that's my NFL comparison. That does not mean, once again, he plays like him. That does not mean he has the same career. Does not mean he's the same as him. He just plays.
I like it. Okay, everyone talks about how great Zach Wilson's looking so athletic. We said that about Baker, and now we're all talking about how the athleticism isn't as there as we all thought, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
He doesn't have the arm like Fields does. Baker doesn't have Sam Darnold's arm talent as far as deep bombs. I get it.
That's what I'm saying. I just think he's got that type of comparison.
Actually, we were all.
He's got the swagger too. That little chip on his shoulder.
The little headband he wears.
I was going to say I would never thought Baker Mayfield was athletic, but never mind. I remember OU. That's all you see him do is run out the pocket and just go out and run and stuff.
His pro day, that's what he's showing off.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but can he do that with Khalil Mack chasing him around?
No,
he's going to throw that ball out of bounds.
Exactly.
So, all right, number one.
Everyone knows what their number 1 is now.
Yeah.
Dante's the only one who's different.
Justin Fields, baby.
Pitch.
Why is Justin Fields the best quarterback in this draft?
Let's be real. I'm going to put up his stats real quick.
We got to be real.
We got to be real.
So, this year, he had 22 touchdowns and 6 picks. In a COVID year, 8 games. That's real good. Last year he had 14. He had 14 games. He had 41 touchdowns and 3 picks. And then that's with 10 rushing touchdowns last year. Well, in 2019, and 5 rushing touchdowns in 2020 in 8 games. Well, that's in 2020. And so, a lot of people say they question his willingness if he really loves football. He was the one that pitched for the Big Ten to play football. If he didn't really love football, he wouldn't have cared. He would just prepare for the draft, So, and also he's a good passer to me. He makes good. He throws good on the run. I do like some of his decision making when the pocket collapses. I do agree with you there. I've seen videos on that, but I think that can be better just with
right
coaching
and coaching development. Yeah.
But I think that he outplayed Trevor Lawrence in that semifinal this year. He outplayed him last year. The only reason why they lost to Clemson was because was 2 bad calls in that semifinal game. So I mean that's why I pick him. That's why I put him there at number 1. But I also do think that him and Trevor Lawrence. I think Zach Wilson will have a good NFL career, but I think Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence are generational talents. It's kind of like what you had with RG3 and Andrew Luck. You really can't go wrong with picking either one of them. Mm-hmm. And so my NFL comparison, y'all going to be surprised. I've seen this man play in Philadelphia. I think he's going to be a little bit more mobile. He's faster than him. But I see him as Donovan McNabb.
Oh.
But Donovan McNabb, it's your number 1?
Donovan McNabb
over your Drew Brees.
He carried. But let's think about it though. He carried the Philadelphia Eagles for years.
No, I like McNabb. I just don't.
He's carried that team for years.
I get the comparison.
With the help of T.O., he carried them to a Super Bowl. He kept that team relevant in the playoffs. I think they're the only repeat champion. That's with McNabb. He carried that team, man, with Andy Reid. So that's why I say McNabb. I understand, yeah, you say that, but McNabb is a good comparison for him.
I get it.
It makes sense. That makes sense. I was struggling. Like I said, it's like Matthew Stafford, but like gets out of the pocket. It's
a mobile Matthew Stafford. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes sense. DC.
So Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
He's accurate. He's big, 6'6", 220. He's strong, got that great arm, deadly in that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Can read the field pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Plays against NFL talent,
Mm-hmm.
right? But so does Fields.
That's fair.
I don't know, that level of dominance over college football. If he could have gone as a sophomore, I would argue he would have got picked before Burrow last year.
That's what a lot of people were saying too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that level of dominance as a sophomore, and like you can't just play at that level and not get this.
I 100% agree. I don't think there's anything else we can say about him after this. We're kind of beating a dead horse talking about how great Trevor Lawrence
weaknesses as far as Trevor Lawrence, okay? And they kind of tie together, okay? What is he going to do without, with mediocre receivers? That's always, but that's a question with every.
That's a question with any good top Power 5 QB.
Exactly. So literally, my weakness: Jaguars ? What team's he walking into? Is Urban Meyer going to translate to the NFL?
Is this game going to translate to the NFL? You need to half reads.
Well, like the Redskins screwed over RG3 with the way they handled him.
Tell me with the knee. So yeah.
No, I don't know if it's going to be that crazy.
Yeah.
But is the bad system going to make him look bad, or is he going to elevate? Yeah. People are going to want to play for him. That'll be helpful. But
I agree. So who's your NFL comparison then? Trevor Lawrence.
Say Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck would be cheating it.
Andrew Luck would always
everyone
be too
compares
easy.
him, and that's just because the level he comes out of college.
Yeah, he's like the next best thing since Andrew Luck. That's what they're saying about him.
You know who my comparison is, and I think it's going to translate really well with this level of success there, is Dan Marino. That's my comparison.
My comparison is also not in the NFL right now.
Here's my thing, okay? So nobody like Dan Marino is very overshadowed.
Not. I'm sorry, you better not. I know who you're about to say. You better not. But continue. I'm sorry, Dan Marino.
He's very overshadowed in your top QBs of all time conversation because where's the rings? Everyone talks about where's the rings. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is up there. Drew Brees is up there. Peyton Manning is up there. Mm-hmm. John Elway is up there. Mm-hmm. Because they have the rings, and I could see that very well being an absolute stud Hall of Fame level quarterback without a Super Bowl.
That's fair.
You
better
say it.
You better not say it.
You think my
you better not say it. You better not say it, man.
Say it.
Not.
No. I want you to say it in case you're wrong.
I don't want to say it.
Dante, say it.
No, you better not. That's all I
will
say.
dispute it if it's not it.
You better not say Peyton Manning.
It's not Peyton Manning.
Thank you. As long as you don't say Peyton Manning, I'm
Bronco
happy.
quarterback. I think he's like John Elway.
You do.
I think he's like John Elway.
I give you that.
Ron Bronco quarterback. He's more mobile than Peyton Manning is. And Peyton Manning, no one can come out of college and be like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was smart. Yeah. His entire game was based around how well he knew the game.
And his smarts and how strong his arm was. He had a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
That's what also made Peyton Manning good.
Nope.
Yeah, insane football IQ, no lack of arm talent.
No.
Exactly. So moving on, we got top 10 lists for Dante. He went number 1, Justin Fields, number 2, Trevor Lawrence, number 3, Zach Wilson, number 4, Trey Lance, number 5, Kellen Mond. DC went number 1, Trevor Lawrence, number 2, Justin Fields, number 3, Zach Wilson, number 4, Trey Lance, number 5, Kyle Trask. And then I went number 1, Trevor Lawrence, number 2, Zach Wilson, number 3, Justin Fields, number 4, Kellen Mond, number 5, Mac Jones. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. The top ones are similar, but not any of us had even the same exact top 3.
Trask and Kellen Mond, we all differ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is a pretty big difference, I guess.
That's just because you don't like him.
We have got
Because I don't like
him. You guys are similar with Mond, then I don't like Mond. So. Well, I do like Mond.
We all agree about Jamie Newman though. We do think Jamie Newman can be a sleeper The only reason why we don't rank him higher is because he didn't play last year.
Yeah, all he played against was Wake Forest, and then he didn't play when he had his chance.
Exactly. All right, moving on to the final minutes. Dante, you got your topic?
Okay. So, yes, I do.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
The Cowboys at number 10. If he is there, we should take Kyle Pitts. We have not had a good tight. I think it was. I forgot who got hurt. I think we may have had Dalton Schultz or I think it was Dalton Schultz was our tight end last year. He was good, but Kyle Pitts his talent's undeniable. Ran a 4.4 at his pro day, 6'6", 240. He's the best tight end. He'll be the best tight end since Jason Witten, and I think he has Hall of Fame potential. Kyle Pitts. So we get Kyle Pitts. If he's there at 10, I do think we need a corner. Like our biggest needs are at the corner. Is at corner, D line, in the offensive tackle spots. But I do think if Kyle Pitts is there, his talent's too undeniable to pass up at 10. And I do not think I think it would be a mistake for us to draft up and get him. But Kyle Pitts, if he's there at number 10, the Cowboys should get him.
That's it. I got some news for you. Kyle Pitts won't be there.
He probably won't be there.
I'm just certain right there.
Yeah. But I do think there's some people said there were some talks of them trading up to get him. I think that'd be a mistake because
you don't trade up for a tight end.
No, you gotta be 100% for sure he's gonna be at least
especially
Pro
with how bad their defense is. You don't.
For real.
Yep. DC.
Yeah, I have one.
Ready, set, go.
Sam Darnold will become a franchise quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Okay, now as far as organization goes, it's not like Carolina's, one of your top NFL organizations, okay? But compare that to what he's walking out of. He's going from Adam Gase, who's not even getting another job, to Matt Rule, okay? He's going from a completely irrelevant franchise to a contending, even when they're rebuilding franchise. And it's a new, fresh start behind, and some would say, I think they have a better line right now, as far as we haven't looked at ours, but he's shown flashes of potential. That's why they're giving him a shot. That's why they already accepted his 5th-year option.
Did they really?
Yes. The second they signed him, they went for the 5th year. They're not drafting a quarterback at 8. And that's, Sam Darnold becomes higher up than, I don't know. I would put him around higher, a little around the Kirk Cousins. That would be as far as NFL ranking goes.
Mm-hmm. So around Kirk Cousins.
Tell me what he could be. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair.
Well, what he could be, I think he would be better than that personally. But I'm also partial because I'm a Jets fan and we drafted him.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Was Gase's head coach all 3 years?
No, he had Todd Bowles.
That's right.
Great defensive coordinator, not a good coach.
No. And then see what he did with Tampa this year.
But I think that was smart on the Panthers. And they knew they weren't going to get – you look at these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all going to go quarterbacks. You're not trading up to that Falcons pick because they're not trading in division. So are you really that set on Mac Jones or Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Or – because I think Sam Darnold's better than both of them.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to mine right at the end. Mine is a little different. Now, transitioning out of football and into basketball, it is not a wrap in the NBA. No, it's not going to be the Brooklyn Nets who are going to win, as you think, Dante. No, the Jazz are pretty good, but I don't know about them either. I'm not putting my pick on them yet. There's still a lot of season left to be played, but the Suns deserve more credit than they got. Chris Paul should be in the MVP conversation. They're playing great basketball. Look, you guys both walking up and around the room right now. They've got the second best record in basketball right now. And look, you could talk, they're in the West. They're doing all this. Who cares? They're winning games. And yes, the Jazz are winning games. And yes, all these teams are winning games. But the Suns are doing it too. And I think no one gives them enough credit. And Chris Paul is playing it, and they're built. They are a great defensive team. They are built to make a run like the Heat did last year. Now, the reason why I'm saying I'm not picking them yet is because I don't know if they'll get over that hump. But don't be surprised to see them come out of the West. That's it. That's what I got for my minute.
The Suns are like the Clippers last year.
The Clippers are like the Clippers last year.
No, they're not. They got Rondo, man. Rondo is cold.
No. If we're being honest, the Nets are like the Clippers last year.
No, I don't think. I think
put all that talent. They've played like
they will make it out the East.
130 minutes together.
They will make it out the East.
Yeah, until you finally put them all on the court.
They'll play on the court. They dominated. I think they played like a few games together.
Yes,
they dominated.
So are you going to do that 7 straight in the playoff series against Joel Embiid and the Sixers?
Yes. Because I have no confidence in Ben Simmons whatsoever.
So who's going to throw a fit first? Who's not getting their touches? Because not like all three of them.
It's been work. It's working when they all three played.
They haven't all three played that long.
It still worked.
Yeah, it worked for the Clippers until you got to the playoffs.
Well, they only had Kawhi and PG. No, it was working. The only reason why it didn't work, you know why? Paul George choked. Am I wrong?
Hold on. James Harden is not going to get to the line in the playoffs.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. They don't blow the whistle as often in the playoffs. It's more physical basketball.
Okay, he still acting like James Harden's not a walking bucket.
And who's going to play defense?
Kevin Durant's decent enough defense.
Decent.
They got Blake. That's why they got Blake Griffin and all them. And you've got
Blake Griffin doesn't play.
Yeah, they're getting Spencer Dinwiddie back though, man.
Okay.
Spencer Dinwiddie is a good player.
You mean he would play backup point guard on half the teams in the league right now?
Stop. He'll be a good starter.
No. All right, there's a lot more that needs to be covered here.
Why do you think the Suns will make it out the West over there?
I think they're built like a great team.
But they're not beating the Lakers when everyone comes back.
No, you know who the Suns are? They're like the Buffalo Bills.
Which Buffalo Bills?
This year's Buffalo Bills. We all love to see it. We all would love for them to go.
That's fair.
And then it's just not going to translate when you – and they have the same problem. Hold on. I'm a Jazz fan. They have the same problem the Jazz have, okay? How are you going to match up against your small forward, power forward dominance?
That's fair, yeah.
No. I'm just –
Don't get DeAndre Ayton, but he's still –
I'm just clarifying one more time. I am not picking the Suns to win. I just say they deserve a lot more credit than they got. Yeah. And don't be surprised if they come out of the West.
That's fair.
That's it. That's all the hot take was. I'm not picking them yet. We got plenty of time. And that's too hot of a take to make at this point right now. I deserve to get laughed out of a room if I said that. That's all we got for right now. Tune in. Next episode coming what? This weekend?
Yeah.
Early next week?
Probably this weekend.
Probably this weekend.
Maybe early next week, yeah.
Early next week will be, yeah.
Figure it out. See you guys later.